Hello class, so here's a quick video on chapter 4 involving scatter diagrams. So first thing I want you to do on the calculator is clear your memory, or I recommend that you clear the whole memory, kind of start from scratch. So hit second function, and the plus sign down here will get us to the memory, and then down to reset, and then all RAM, and then go down and hit reset. That'll clear everything. Okay, next thing I want you to do is second function and the 0 take you to catalog. I want you to go all the way down until you get to the D's. We're trying to turn something called diagnostics on. All right, there's an off. We want to turn it on. So go to diagnostic on, hit enter again, and it'll say done. I'll show you what that does in just a second. Okay, so for scatter diagrams, this problem in section 4.1, click here to get the data set. Gives you these two lists of numbers. We're going to put these into the calculator. So in list 1, 2, 4, 6, 6, 7. And in list 2, 4, 8, 11, 14, 18. 4, 8, 11, 14, and 18. Okay, good. Second function, quit. Go back to the blank screen. To see a scatter plot, so these down here are showing you what it should look like once you get it graphed. So you're going to hit second function and the y equals button up here at the top. That'll take you to your plots. Since we reset the memory, all of these should be off except for number 5. That one always stays on. But that's good. We want them to be off. We're going to go into number 1, hit enter. First, we're going to turn it on. Down here, we're going to select the type. You can do a histogram. There's a histogram you'll learn about. Other things. We want to do the very first choice there as a scatter plot. Our X list is list 1. Our Y list is list 2. Those are already done. This down here will change the shape of the dot that you see. It could be like I think this one's the best. It could be a little plus sign or a little tiny dot. Hit enter. Now to see it, you're going to go zoom and down all. You can just hit the number 9, but you're looking for number 9 is zoom stat. This will show the stat stuff instead of just a regular graph. So zoom stat, and it'll show you this picture. So you're looking to match this up with one of these pictures. Obviously, it's not either of these. They're kind of going the wrong direction. It looks pretty close to choice A. Looks a little close to choice B too, but I think A is the better choice. So it looks closer to that one. Let's check answer, and we're good. Second thing is it says by hand compute the correlation coefficient. I don't want you to do anything by hand whenever we can avoid it. So the correlation coefficient you can get on the calculator. This is an extremely helpful function here. So you're going to hit, I'm going to clear this out so we don't see anything. Hit stat, go to calc. Instead of one variable stats, I want to do this number 4 down here, which is linear regression. This is super helpful for this chapter. So your X list is list 1, your Y list is list 2. Frequency list, just leave that empty. Store, just leave that empty, and then go down to calculate and hit enter. It's going to give you a bunch of stuff. First of all, it gives you the A and the B. I'll talk about that in a second. The R's, if these don't show up, then you have to do that diagnostic thing I showed at the beginning of this video. If you don't turn on the diagnostics, these R's will not show up, okay? The bottom R is the one you really want. R squared is just taking this number here and squaring it. The R is called the correlation coefficient. That's this thing they're wanting us to calculate. Now, calculating this by hand is extremely time-consuming. The calculator will do it for you very quickly. They want us to round to 3 decimal places, so I'm going to go 0.952. And check the answer. And we're good. So now the correlation coefficient, this number is talking about how close to a line the data values are. Now, I know our picture right here doesn't really look like it's close to a line, but it could be a lot worse. I've seen much, much worse. This number, this R value, ranges between -1 and +1. It'll never be bigger or smaller than those. If it's close to 0, like 0.1 or 0.2, that means your dots are scattered all over the place. They're not even close to being a line. If it's close to 1 or close to -1, that means it is close to being a line. And 0.952 is very close to 1. So this actually has a very positive linear correlation. It's very close to being a line. I know it doesn't look perfect, but in stats, we're not looking for perfect. So this says because the correlation coefficient is positive, positive means it's going up from left to right. And the absolute value of the correlation coefficient is, so if this happened to be negative, you would just take the negative off. In our case, it's positive, so I'm just going to put the number in as is. 952 is Now we have to compare this to the critical value. This second table here is going to give us our list of critical values. N is the number of data pairs you have. So we have 5 pairs in this case. So the critical value is 0.878. So our 0.952 is greater than the critical value for this data set, which is, what did I say? 0.858. I better check that again. With 5.878. 878. A positive linear relation exists between x and y. So we check the answer and we're good. Okay, so that's the first video for chapter 4. This shows you how to calculate. In the next video, I'll talk about what this A and the B mean, and that gets you through that. So please use this function. It saves a lot of time. The book will show you how to do the linear correlation coefficient by hand. It's extremely time consuming. You don't need to spend time doing that. It's just not a good use of your time. So anyway, hope that helps. Keep up the hard work.